We spent a record-breaking $870 for today's storage unit video. Now it's time to see what's inside. What is up, everyone? I hope you all are doing well today. In today's storage unit video, we will be going through this storage unit that we paid $870 for. I think this is actually the most we've ever spent on a single unit, and it's pretty obvious why we spent up on this unit. As you can see, we got ourselves a new sailboat. I don't know much about them. I don't think Xander does either. Do you?
No, sir.
So we'll learn about sailboats together, but this one should be super fun. So let's go ahead and get inside and go through it. I'm blanking on what this was called. I looked this up yesterday, but similar boats were going anywhere from like $1,000 to about $6,000 online. I'm hoping we can at least get the low end of that. Obviously we'd pay for the unit plus like our gas getting here. So that would be awesome. One thing we didn't realize was how big this piece would be. It's about 20 feet long. Is this called a mast?
Your guess is as good as mine.
I'm pretty sure it is because I did just look it up before we filmed it, just so I knew something about a sailboat. Also, that could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is called a mast. So that'll be fun getting that back home. Oh my, never mind, false alarm. I think everything's gonna be a shotgun or something, but this is just another piece for the boat. And it looks like a bunch of pieces right up here for the boat. All right, we got a bunch of boxes in here, some really interesting wooden sculptures. I think we got maybe Genghis Khan back here.
I'm sorry, Genghis?
Isn't that how you pronounce it?
I think it's Genghis, isn't it?
Maybe. I always thought it was Genghis. We'll clip in and see who's right, because you might be right.
The closer to the original one is Genghis Khan, but it is also correct to say it as Genghis Khan.
All right, we got this nice, it looks like handmade bag. Nothing too much in there though. It looks like a lot of heavy duty books. This one's Chapman Piloting, Seamanship, and Small Boat Hand. I usually like donate the books. We're gonna start taking them to a local book consignment shop, see how much we can make for them. But some of these actually may be worth reselling on eBay. So we'll have to wait and see on those. Oh my, oh, there goes the hernia. Good grief.
I thought you were working out.
I am, but slowly but surely. I don't even want to tell Xander what I put up the other day. Quite a bit.
We'll take your word for it.
345s on each side and a 10 on each side on incline.
Well, on the machine?
Yeah, but still, you don't have to add in the machine part. It was on the machine. Sorry, I was feeling good about myself.
Well, we don't want them thinking you're benching 325
Well,
on incline.
I think that's pretty obvious. I mean, look at me. Okay, I think this is all like planner stuff. A lot of it's not used. And so what we'll probably do is just lot it all together and resell it as a lot. I mean, look at that though. There's a lot of really just kind of interesting, wild looking stuff in here. Stuff that I'm not usually used to when going through these units. What kind of pins are these? These pins may not be worth a ton, but I do know some of these can be worth like 20, 30, 40 bucks alone. Obviously, they can go up higher than that, but I don't think that's a super, super high-end pin. But we'll have to wait and see. We're going to have to look through all of this because whenever you get a good unit like this, you want to make sure you don't miss out on any good items. But we're going to call it quits on this one because this looks like just a bunch of stationery and other stuff. Also, thankfully, Xander's in a better mood than usual. It's going to make going through this unit a lot better. He's not quite so sassy this morning.
I got my full 6 hours.
Oh, good. Look at this. Not exactly sure what we're looking at. It's pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. Maybe not my taste completely. I feel like my daughter would love this, but I don't know if I can take this home because I don't know if I'd ever get it out of my home. Xander did just Google image search that last piece, and he said there's one listed for $400 on eBay. If they're listed on eBay for $400, we should be able to get anywhere in the neighborhood of like $100 to $200 for that rather quickly, I would assume. So good find right there. Here is another wooden sculpture. This thing is deceivingly heavy. I've come across things like this in the past, and I believe this is like Bali, Indonesia, dancers of some sort. But this stuff is super collectible, and this is actually in really nice shape. Looks like it was super well taken care of and basically either been in storage or in someone's home. The one thing I don't know is how much this will go for. I don't think these are like crazy rare and valuable, but if I was guessing, maybe a couple $100 for this. So another good find right there. Here's just a box of books. All right, here's one that I'm not sure. We will take a picture of this and see what this is. Like I said, I think this is either Genghis Khan or Genghis Khan. It is definitely hand carved though, and honestly, super well done. Very impressive, whoever did this. Like even the little notches on his shirt or tunic are very impressive. Surely this will bring at least $100, but honestly, something like this could be worth thousands. I have no idea. For Xander and I's sake, hopefully it's worth thousands. We have 3 storage units to clean out today, so that would be a great start if this is worth a ton of money. We do have one more. What is this?
We'll show the people.
This guy like a ninja or a samurai or something?
Can you try out that pose for us though?
I don't know if I got enough leg room. I don't know if I have enough strength to hold this guy out. I mean, this is a brick. 25 pounds probably. Pretty cool if you're into this sort of thing, which I'm not currently, but I could probably be talked into it. What do you think, Xander?
On the price?
Yeah, we're not going to hold you to it.
Yeah, a couple $100. I don't know.
Maybe. I will say most of that stuff we are kind of guessing. We will figure it out once we get back home. More books right there. All nice hardback books. We've got a little sailboat display right here. Probably not worth a whole lot. Kind of cool though, especially if you live like in a little boat town, but maybe we can get like 10 to 15 bucks for that. I don't know if that's actually painted on there, if that's printed. Kind of looks like it's printed, but maybe that's painted on there. That is pretty cool though. I like that. Ooh, this is cool. Look at this, Xander. Old LA lunchbox. Very cool. I don't know how valuable that is, but, and also I don't know actually how old that is. That may not be as old as it appears, but kind of a cool lunchbox. Bunch of books back here. This thing of movies it looks like. Bob Marley. Is this Waylon Jennings it looks like? Shout out to Waylon.
I have a dog named Waylon.
Got some Bruce Springsteen DVD collection, him live in concert, Born to Run, 30th anniversary. Stuff like this actually is resellable. We got Mozart. Is that Tchaikovsky? I think that's how you pronounce it. Box full of CDs and stuff. It's actually pretty decent. Here's another box of CDs. Lauren Daigle, the Oak Ridge Boys. We'll probably just sell this as a lot, but usually CDs don't bring a ton. Maybe if we have 30 CDs, maybe we'll get like 10 to 15 bucks for that. That's cool. Roberts, Holy Land, Egypt, etc. Interesting. I think these are 3 different volumes. Yeah, those are 3 different volumes right there. I have no idea on books like these. They look very nice. This may be super collectible or it may not be worth much of anything, but those are pretty cool. But now I'm gonna let Xander take over and we'll go through more boxes.
Looks like we got some cigars. We'll see if they're actually in here.
I don't know. You think they're gonna be in there or you think it's gonna be something else?
Feels like they're in there.
Are those nice? Do we know?
I have no idea.
Oh,
Bummer.
rats. Not in there.
They're all empty.
Yep. Maybe though, those boxes will be resellable. I don't know anything about cigars really, but they look pretty nice.
Imported.
I will say though, them being taped together kind of messes up the boxes, unfortunately.
All right, more CDs.
Nice.
Oh, there's your Beethoven.
There we go.
A lot of Springsteen in here.
He's probably what, top 5, top 10 musician of all time?
I think so.
Probably. It's not really my kind of music, to be completely honest, but he's definitely one of the best ever.
Doesn't look like there's anything too exciting in here.
Okay.
Jackie Chan collection. What we got?
I'm a fan of Jackie Chan.
Well, now you got a Blu-ray collection.
That's kind of a cool little piece right there.
Yeah. This is right up Courtney's alley.
It does kind of look like her.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nice. Maybe worth 10 to 15 bucks.
Nice tissue box. It's made in Mexico.
You know, you got money whenever you're buying
Hand-painted tissue boxes.
Yeah.
Assuming this is more Mexican stuff. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I don't think that would fit you.
That was rude. That Old Spice that's got Granddaddy written all over it.
Is that a go-to?
Yep, I can smell it right now. That's kind of cool.
Still ticking.
Nice.
Javier Juarez.
That other one had Granddaddy's name written all over it, and then this hat has Pop written all over it. You're really sticking with that hat. Hopefully there's no lice in it.
We're committed now. That's nice.
That is cool. Honestly, I mean, I would make fun of you and laugh at you if you wore that out in public, but I've seen worse looks.
Does that mean you're making fun of your grandpa too?
My grandpa was like 80 years old.
Well, maybe I'm an old soul. See, the problem is I have no way of even guessing how much any of this is worth.
Stuff like that, I'm assuming is not going to be super valuable. Maybe like 5 to 10 bucks. Oh, What do we have there? That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Bunch of acorns.
I don't think they're real. Well, maybe they are.
No, I don't think they're real either. I think those are made out of wood. They're like handcrafted acorns and stuff. This might be resellable. What do we have there?
A nothing burger.
Huh.
But I don't know about that box.
I'm assuming this is a brass container. I'm not seeing any markings on it, but that kind of looks like brass to me. That might be worth a few bucks. What do we have there? Oh, is it like one of those dart shooters? Or is that an instrument?
I think it's an instrument.
Oh, I thought it was like one of those things you go.
What do you go like?
I thought that was Louis for a second. So I guess that's just a white bicycle trailer. Still brand new. It is an open box, but looks like it's still all in its original packaging. We decided to move up to the front of the unit. We went through most of the boxes on this side, but now to go through all the boxes on the other side of the boat. Oh, grand reveal to clothes. Decent brand.
St. John's Bay.
Nice corduroys though, it looks like. $65 chaps corduroys. We don't need to go through buckets of clothes though.
There's a couple pocket watches in here. That looks interesting.
Huh.
Straight
I think that's
razor.
brass. What is that?
Straight razor
That's pretty sweet actually.
from London. I don't know about these pocket watches.
Some of them can be worth a lot, some can be worth not much. That is pretty cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's not gonna be gold.
Could be plated.
Yeah, I'll have to look this up and see what we got, but that is pretty sweet. All right, show off some of the pocket watches you found.
Waltham is the brand.
I'm not seeing any markings on that one, but that one is pretty cool.
Another one of those Waltham ones.
Yeah, this one looks a little older. But I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research and find out what we have here, because these could be worth a ton of money, or they could be worth a couple $100 total. American Northern Watch Company. Really, really cool. That might be sterling silver, that might be plated. I'm not too sure. And this one does look a little bit cheaper. It is a Sorley Glasgow Swiss watch. You know what? It being a Swiss watch, maybe that is worth a little bit more. I'm not seeing any markings on any of these though, but pretty sweet. Very nice Dalvey pocket watch right here. Get this one open. I don't know if any of these are gonna be worth a whole lot, but they are really cool and pretty well maintained.
We can match. Now you have one. Big book.
Whoa. Nice presentation on this book. I mean, it's a fancy book. Fancy doesn't always mean valuable though.
All right. Something
We got something?
other than books.
Uh-oh. Let's not get our hopes up too much, but my
Fee
hopes
set.
are a little high.
Let's not get them up.
I know.
But they're already high.
It's so hard. I don't know if y'all have ever bought a storage unit before, but boy, it's hard not to get your hopes up. That's sick.
It's nice. And it's still in the box.
That's awesome. It's some sick stuff.
The question is it valuable?
How cool is that? Xander just throws caution to the wind with germs. It's crazy.
That's how you build the immune system.
Ooh, some Star Wars collectibles. What is that? Oh, nice.
There you go.
Ooh, another one. R2-D2. I could be wrong, but I actually think these are going to be worth a little bit of money. Maybe $30 new? What do we think?
We're about to find out. That's that exact one, $40.
I knew whenever I saw that, those were going to be fairly expensive. We've got stacks of them. Cha-ching! And then there's bags full of these fountain pens in here.
Kind of looks like you.
That wasn't very nice. Honestly, though, it's kind of what I'm shooting for. Need to lose a few LBs to get down to that.
Oh, these go together, I'm assuming.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Big time sailor. That's handcrafted in Nova Scotia. Nice. That's kind of a cool little box right here. Hand painted.
Oh, it's got these crystals in it.
I'm gonna have to look those up. Those may be something unique. All right, we were bringing stuff out of this back corner and moving it out front like I said, but that's whenever I moved this box of books and uncovered, oh my, one sec, pause momentarily, easily the coolest box in the entire unit. Xander hadn't seen it yet, and he was like, I'm not getting my hopes up. But Xander, time to get your hopes up. Come on, guys. I don't even know what actual like practical use this has, but this thing feels just right in my hand. What do we have to find for you to be excited?
It's a cool box.
We're working on his excitement levels. Yarborough 0980. These are some heavy duty knives. I don't know what we're even looking at here as far as value goes, but some of this stuff I've got to imagine has got to have a little bit of value to it. Get your hands on some of these, make you feel a little better. I know these are all kind of fighting knives. Oh, literally a fighting knife. I mean, these are crazy.
Yeah, that's sick.
All we get out of them is, yeah, it's sick. John something commando knife.
The question is, what are we going to do with these?
I don't know. I may keep some of them. I mean, who's selling that? That is so sick. And this doesn't look super valuable, but it is pretty cool. Here's the last one in this container. This U.S. Marines. I'll have to do my research on this, but I think we just struck gold. If I was guessing conservatively, $25 to like $50 on average for each one. Some are probably going to be worth less than that. And then I would assume we've got a couple in there that are probably going to be worth more. Hopefully they're all worth more, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But box of the day right there. Look what else we have. Got some string right there we'll take out. Very nice buck knife right there. I'm not sure what brand that is. It doesn't have any branding on it, but really cool. I mean, this isn't probably that valuable, but kind of cool. Little owl quartz necklace watch. Wow. The cooler they look, the cheaper they are. And maybe not even the cooler they look, but you know, the fancier they look. Got some organic seeds. Got $1.57 right there, I think. If my math's right. Great box though. Another calligraphy set. Wordsmith in black. We got something kind of cool here. Would you like a mint?
Why are they that color?
I don't exactly know. Maybe they're like off-branded Werther's Originals.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, what about in here? Imagine that. More calligraphy and writing stuff. These look like a little bit cheaper pens.
Well, at least you had a variety.
No joke. And more ink. All right, we're going to go through this last box, and then whatever else we come across in the unit, we'll show off once we get back home. Of course, more writing stuff, but I think we are going to make a mint just on the writing stuff alone. I just don't know exactly how big that mint's going to be. But like I said, whatever we come across here at the end of the unit, we'll make sure to show off once I get back home. All right, we finally made it back home after clearing out that storage unit. And here were a few items that I wanted to show off here before the end of the video. Up first, we have one of the more valuable containers in the entire unit. Take a look at this. So I will say I have looked up all of these rings, and they are all 92.5 sterling silver rings. And I did a little bit of research online, and it appeared like they were all purchased off of an Etsy shop. And the prices on the Etsy shop were anywhere from like $80 to like $125 for these rings. And there are 13 total rings in this little container. And so I'm assuming we have around $1,000 in sterling silver rings right here. So chalk that up as another awesome find from this unit. And then moving on to the next items I wanted to show off. I don't know if any of these gems or stones are real, but I did think these were really nice, and I'll have to find somewhere to test these. I will say I'm not holding my breath that that diamond's real, but possibly some of these other gems may be real. But I thought those were cool. And we have a handful of other pins and jewels and stuff. Here's one of the more expensive pins that I came across. This one is 14 karat, so that'll be worth around $100 just in gold alone right there. And this one is a little bit lighter, but that is also 14 karat. I believe it's about $70 in gold. Here's a 14 karat gold ladybug. It weighs somewhere in between the last two pins, so somewhere in the neighborhood of like 80 to 90 bucks for this one. So I will say everything is just adding up from this unit, to say the least. And I'd like to say I'm saving the best for last, but I don't exactly know what all I have inside of here yet. A lot of this I'm going to need to get tested, but I did go ahead and separate some of the items. Like this is all 92.5 sterling silver back there. And then whenever we saw this chain, we thought we were going to break the bank. Unfortunately, it is just layered with 24 karat gold. Apparently though, the LJ before that is like Lifetime Jewelry or some other brand like that actually does use quite a bit more gold in their layering process than other brands. So there is a decent amount of gold in here. Obviously just not thousands and thousands of dollars like if this was actually a 24 karat gold necklace. But with it being layered, I would imagine we should be able to get a couple $100 for that necklace. And then here's another 24 karat gold layered necklace. But that's it for this storage unit. It has been a long day, so I'm gonna get everything cleaned up and put away. But I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. That one was a ton of fun. And thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay rad.